you love someone else. And it's something that I took from. What's up guys, it's your girl Lena and welcome back to my channel. I know I can't sing, but I'm gonna try something new. Today is my first ever story time. I'm pretty excited about that. Everyone has a story, so this story time is definitely from my past. It's a situation where you part ways from one situation and you just rush into something else, not giving yourself time to heal and move on, like, you know, really love yourself before you devote yourself into put yourself into another situation, if you get what I'm saying. So this is what this story is about, like giving yourself time to heal and love yourself before rushing into another relationship or situation. So hope you guys enjoy this story, but before we get into this story, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let's get into this video. When I migrated to the US, I reconnected with an old friend, and this guy I honestly felt was like my soulmate, the love of my life, blah 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 and so forth. Eventually this guy had something else going on. He had a whole other situation, and we had to like part ways. I was really hurt from that situation. I never really gave myself time to heal, because this did not go on like for 1 year or 2 years, no. So I didn't give myself time to heal, and that was my biggest mistake, leaving that situation, like coming out from that situation, not giving myself time to heal. So my sister, she's like, oh, you're finished with that situation, like get yourself out there, let's start dating, let's start going out and so forth. So she's like, oh, you need to go make up a POF account and a Tinder account. And I was like, girl, nah, I ain't gonna do that. That's not for me. But in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, maybe I really should, because like your girl has no friends, and like I'm happy like that. I'm really happy, like not having to worry about what this one has to say or what that one has to say. My best friends are my family members. So I ended up making the account, and when I made this account, I had like 2 pictures on it. Like guys, from the time I made that account, I can't remember for certain if you have to swipe left or swipe right, but one of those is like when you're interested in the person. So whenever someone, oh, they would say, oh, this person swiped left or this person swiped right, so I would go on and be like, okay, does this person look good enough? Is he my type? Should I? Let's see. So there were a few, like I had like a few guys as well that I did meet on that site. Like I have one friend, his name is Jay, and he's very dope. Like, you know, we're the same planet, like, so we just vibes. But I looked at this guy, he's a good looking guy, but I just looked at him as a friend. Yeah. But there was this one guy that I met on that app, and I'm like, ooh, he looks good. He looks good. So we matched, and he messaged me, and he's like, oh, this is my name is blah blah blah, but this guy's name, like I have a friend, she gives everyone a name that we're talking to. So she gave him a vegetable name, guys. I'm not gonna say it, but my friend gave him a vegetable name. But we're gonna name this guy iPhone. Let's pretend his name is iPhone, okay? So I started talking to iPhone, and I was like, oh, he sounds interesting. But mind you, before I'm like, oh, I'm done with this app, because these people are creeps on here. Like, yo, these guys and them, they would be like, just I'm like, chill out, slow down. But I'm like, okay, I'm gonna delete this app. But when I swiped, when me and this guy matched, I'm like, okay, this is the last one I'm going to talk to. Let me see what this guy is about. So we message each other, and he's like, oh, would you like to go out for brunch or so? I'm like, okay, that sounds good. But I'm like, before I go out with you, I need to meet you first. So I think like 2 days after, like he did pass by, like he did pass by where I live, and He's like, oh, why do you keep playing with your hair? Do I make you nervous? And so, but he had me blushing. If you can get me to blush, like, it's a plus, it's a plus. So I'm like, yes, finally someone to kind of take this other guy off of my mind then. So I ended up like, we were talking like constantly, and he's like, oh, let's go out, I want to take you out. So I'm like, mind you, he had a really good job. He was a manager in a hotel, like one of the bigger hotels down here in South Florida. So I'm like, okay, like maybe we got a little bit of money and let's see what could happen. Let's see what could happen. So we ended up going out. It was Halloween weekend, that weekend of Halloween. I think Halloween falls a day in the week, so we went out the Saturday before. And so we ended up going downtown. There's a street on Las Vegas where there's a, you know, bars and so forth. So there were Halloween parties. So your girl dressed up. She didn't dress in no costume. I had like a pretty little black dress. I had all my boots on, like showing my little figure and so forth. And your guy came in, he picks me up and he's like, oh, he smells so good. Like, I know a guy that smells good. Yeah, I like guys that smells good, and he smells so good. And I'm like, oh, okay, your girl looking good, the boy looking good, we smelling good. And I'm like, yeah. So we ended up going to this bar that has like a nightclub as well, so a bar nightclub vibes. And in that club, he definitely knew, like, we both were from the islands, so we're into like dancehall. And like, yo, when you get someone who likes soca, that's all you need. That's all I needed. So he definitely liked soca. So I'm like, yeah, what are the odds? What are the odds? Like, ha. So after having a few shots, and mind you, your girl cannot drink. Like, she cannot hold her liquor as her younger days. Her younger days definitely could have hold her liquor. Like, I'm a Charles. Charles guys in my family, the men in my family definitely knows how to hold their liquor. And we the females also know how to hold their liquor. But at a particular age, like, I couldn't anymore. So after a few shots of Hennessy and Patron, yo, your girl, all your girl was doing was grinning. Like, yo, I was like, yo. So the night went on, and on our way home, like him dropping me home, he's like, oh, I really had a good time. Like, I don't want this night to end. And I'm in the back of my head, yeah, I don't want this night to end either. Like, what do you have in mind? So he's like, oh, do you want to go back to my place and hang out? And I was like, yes, I will. Yes, I will. So I got back to his house and we had more drinks. And the rest of the night, let's just blank that out. So the morning he came back and he dropped me home, and I was like, oh. That next day I had like a terrible hangover. Like, hangovers are the worst. Like, the hangover part isn't worth it with the drinking. So we continued talking, and it's like, okay, next weekend he would come pick me up and we would go out almost every weekend. We may not go anywhere, like whether it's dinner or go to a party, but just like going for a little drive, or like me coming over to his place. And it's like, I think one mistake he made was like, oh, you can come over to my place whenever you feel like you don't need to call. And I think that was a mistake. So after weeks, like into months of like us getting to know each other and hanging out, like I started looking at him like, oh, maybe, you know, something could happen. But in the back of my mind, it's like, I think you're rushing into this situation a little too fast, because a few months ago you were all about someone else, and now you're just using this guy maybe to cover what's really how you really feel. And mind you, my past relationships, I've been burnt, and I feel like a lot of females have been burnt in like a relationship they would have like really put their all into, and it affects you. It definitely affects you. So my advice is never rushing into something else, and that's exactly what I was doing. So time went by, me and this guy would hang out, we would have plans, and then like all of a sudden, like, okay, we will make plans that we're gonna do this, and then he's gonna call me and be like, oh, I have to work late. I'm like, since when you like you're making, and like I felt they were excuses that he was making so that we don't spend time. So it started to annoy me, and when things annoy me, like I don't think rationally, like at the time I do not. So like I would lash out, and I would like, yo, call this guy, and I would just like cuss him out, and I was like, like now I look back and I'm like, why were you calling this guy and cuss him out? Like if somebody doesn't want to spend time with you, it's like they're lost. Like, but at that time I was like, oh, what? Like I would call this guy, and like when I tell you, I would cuss him out. I would cuss him out. And it started to, like on his part, like after we had the conversation, after everything like settled, like now I understand. If you have someone bickering at you, it pushes someone, the other person away. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was bickering at this boy, like, why you not doing this, or why this, or why that, and why this. And it definitely is really, as I said, going to push someone away. And that's exactly what started to happen. We're gonna go, we're gonna do something. I was like, okay, what time? Because I ain't gonna stay up here like after 11. So I trust early on, I was like, I'm gonna go to the movies. When you're finished work, you're gonna go come pick me up and we can hang out. And he's like, sure. So I went to the mall, I did my own little thing, and then I called him and I was like, oh, you can come pick me up right now. And he's like, I'm still at work. And I'm like, no, you're not at work. So I decided, I was like, okay, I'm gonna hang out at the mall at this bar, and I'm gonna hit you back up. And with a few drinks, like I really cannot remember what happened, but I remember calling, I should say I do remember calling him. Like I called him, I was like, oh, I'm coming over to your house right now. And he's like, Lena, I'm not at home. I was like, don't tell me you're not at home. Like I know you're at home, I'm coming over. And he's like, listen, you can come over, but I'm not at home. And I think it was just a tactics of him, him using that to be like, okay, I'll really be like, nah, maybe yeah, he's not at home. But I requested a lift. I'm like, I'm gonna pull up. I did 2 stops. So I said, just in case he wasn't there, I'll just be like, oh, the person that I was looking for, they're not there, so you can drop me off at my last destination. So I got to his house, and I'm like, why the hell is your car home? And he's like, oh, my cousin is using my car today. I'm like, yo, don't bullshit me. I know your cousin ain't using your car. He's like, okay, well, if you so brave, go knock on the door. You'll see my cousin. It's my cousin that is using my car. I have my cousin's car. And like, we were go bickering at each other. And I'm like, I told the driver, okay, just drop me off at the last destination. So when I got home now, like I called this guy, I called him, I FaceTimed this guy, I WhatsApped him, I IMO'd him. Like I was going crazy, and I called this guy 125 times, guys. 125. who calls someone 125 times within a few hours? And eventually, so at a point now, when I call, he would hang up the phone, call, hang up, call, hang up. So eventually he did answer, and he came on and he just sat there and he's like, what is your problem? What is your problem? And I was like, yo, going off on him, and he was just sitting there just like taking in everything I like, well, not really taking in everything I say, but he was just sitting there like, you bicker and I'm just gonna sit here. So then his cousin came on the phone, and his cousin and his brother, and they're like, yo, why are you acting so crazy? Why are you acting so crazy? Like, yo, I didn't expect that from you. Like, you didn't look like that type of person. Blah 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 and so forth. And after that night, like, I kind of sit back and I was like, yo, what the hell? Like, I never did that before. Like, never called someone like numerous times. Never, like, I've never had to do that. And I sat back and I was like, yo, this shit is not healthy. It is not healthy. Your sanity should mean more to you than anything. Like, it's not worth it. And I did take a step back after, I should say, not after that night, because no, the next day I still was calling, guys. But after a few days, I did take a step back, and I'm like, if someone, and I told myself, no, Lena, it's okay, you'll be fine, you will be fine. Like, I went through a situation with my son's father, and I got over that. I went through a situation with I felt like the previous relationship, our situation, like a relationship, whatever you want to call it, and I'm like, you're gonna get over that. And I see you can get over this too. This is not anything for you to like be losing weight over, like being depressed about. Like, you definitely, obviously, did not give yourself enough time to heal from your last relationship. So maybe you should take a step back and like kind of heal yourself and love yourself. And so I decided to do that exactly, like, you know, take a step back and kind of love myself, and not want to be in a relationship, like not be like, oh, I need to be in a relationship, because it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. Your sanity should mean more to you. It should mean more to you than any other thing. And mind you, me and this guy, after that whole situation, we still talk, we still hang out like a few times. And then I told myself, like, yo, do not go into this, or do not look at this as anything like in the long run. Look at it as, okay, maybe you're just having fun now, and eventually one day you will be like, yo, who's that? Like, and that's how I am today. Like, I'm like, did I experience that? I don't even call it, like, I just say like, yo, I only had one ex, and I only claim it here because I have a child with it. Other than that, I don't have ex. Like, this relationship I'm in right now is the only relationship I've ever been in. Like, only relationship I've ever experienced. Like I said, I'm only going to claim the because I have a child. Easy and simple like that. But yeah, that situation definitely made me learn, like, not everyone is deserving of your time and your love and devotion. And after a few weeks, like I said, we were still cool. And one day we did have a conversation, and he's like, listen, you're a very beautiful person, like I really like you, your personality, everything shines. And he's like, you're someone that I wanted a relationship with at one point, but he's like, something happened along the way that made me think like it's not something I can deal with in the long run. He's like, you being so paranoid and bickering so much, he's like, is not something that I want to deal with. Like, I do not want a relationship where someone that just keeps bickering at me. And like, after I saw where he was coming from, and like, I did apologize. I was like, yo, maybe I rushed into this situation just a little too fast because of what I would have experienced previously, and maybe I should have given myself some time to heal and just like take things slow with you, and eventually like maybe think the outcome of our situation may have been different. But I do not regret it, because like I said, where I'm at now personally, I am very happy. Like, I'm very relaxed. Like, I'm such in a better place. But that experience definitely has taught me like it's okay. Like, it's okay to take time by yourself and heal from one situation before and going into another. Like, ladies, it is okay. It is okay. We do not have to use someone else to void that space that the previous person, to fill that space from that previous situation or that person. Like, you do not need to do it. Like, take your time and heal. Come on, FedEx, roll before I have to hear y'all in my background. Sorry about that, but the truck is passing. Yeah, take your time and heal. Love yourself first. And one thing, like, I hold no grudges anymore. Like, it's in the past and you move on. It takes time. Some people, it takes them a month, but I don't really think they move on. But like, it takes time to heal and move on, like, you, and like I said. So this comes to an end to my first ever story time. Hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about my story. If you guys would like more story times, yeah. All right, thank you.